You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
I'm a relationship hack.
Run up and get touched up, suicide. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail. Run up and get touched up, suicide, that's it. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail.
Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show has returned live on T Radio V. That's radio in TV. You know what it is. It's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's time to get busy with yet another hot topic. Man, today's topic is incredible. We got special guests. We have our panel in the building getting ready to just go in on the subject. A lot of things have been going on in the news, but you know, before I get to it, I got to support black businesses. Let's do it right now. First, let's get Weed Juice in the building. The brother comes here every week. I mean, this right here got actual coconut in the bottle. Not just coconut juice, called Cocoa Beware. You know he was watching the WWF.
Yep.
Cocoa Beware, coconut water.
That was my dude.
Yeah, man. That's who Corey is today. Cocoa Beware. Let's see. Apple Zang, apple, cucumber, ginger, mint. Weed Juice, man. Black-owned business. Presses up these juices on his own. I mean, it's really, really doing well right now, I hear. Apple, pear, lemon, ginger, and cayenne pepper. You like that, huh? You don't point at it like if you, in the background, like that one right there.
That ain't you on me.
that ain't you,
called
man.
that one.
Then there's strawberry lemonade, strawberry apple, pear, lemon. Ouch. Fire. The one he didn't bring, he brought the cool water. I love the cool water, which is watermelon, ginger, and mint. Great, great, great stuff, man. I appreciate the brother Hassan McCullough for bringing out all of the juices. You just gonna grab it right now, huh?
You done promoting, ain't you?
Nah, I wasn't done.
You wasn't done.
Yeah, you know. You
What
just
up, what up, Hassan?
Just real evil. I see. Go ahead, everybody get the juices they want. Goddamn it, hell.
Oh, it's still cold too?
Yeah.
Good looking out, Hassizi.
Yeah, man. So continue to support Weed Juice. I know you guys pulled up the website, right? Also, we have some stuff Dr. G can't keep his hands off of. It's the only crack the white man will do. The only crack the white man will consent to being addicted to. He stole some before the show. Shepherd Sweets. I'm telling you, this candy is bananas, and man. If you want to get maybe a gift for Father's Day or something, what is that, this Sunday?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they canceled it, man.
They canceled Father's Day?
Black History.
They canceled it.
Or what is it, Mother's Day 2.0? Anyway, get this candy. It's incredible. I mean, it speaks for itself. Everybody can, I mean, what do we have in here? Pistachio.
And the white chocolate.
Oh, and then there's white chocolate and pistachio in here. You know, I guess she puts like a pistachio dust. A dusting. Crushed pistachios. Yes, it's quite delicious. And there's chocolate and white chocolate. Dr. G, go ahead and get your crack on right now. Dr. G is Pookie over that candy. He be calling me, man. He just be calling me. Dr. G. Look at that. Dr. G is a candy crack addict. It's cool. Speaking of Dr. G, he has a myriad of books you should get. Like I said, my favorite is Get Out of Your Own Way. This is my favorite. Practical lessons for conquering procrastination, fear, envy, obsession, anger, self-pity, compulsion, neediness, guilt, rebellion, inaction, overcoming self-defeating behaviors. I'm telling you, this is my favorite book by Dr. G. Get Out of Your Own Way. Very powerful work. Just Listen comes in second. Very good book. Jeff Brown claims he read this book. I seriously doubt that he read this book. And if he did read it, he has not implemented one tool in this motherfucker. All right. Doc may need to read the book over because he's forgotten all of the tools he put in the book being on the show.
I have.
And then his new book, his latest book, is Talking to Crazy. You can get all of these on Amazon.com. Please continue to support Dr. Mark Goulston. And then he's in overalls. He's from the South. He's wise. He hates snitches. He's ornery. Real men don't play.
All of those things.
All of those things. Pick up Bobby Goulston. Dr. Bobby G, please get his book. This is an incredible book. I've always said it is a manual for manhood. Real men don't play. Get it today. And then I need everybody. This is a cash mob, a call to action. I need you to cash mob this book today. Anybody who purchases a book today, I will be mailing it out today. All right? So please, please, please support this movement. The money, let me just say, the money we raised is gone.
Oh.
It's gone. I had to pay a bunch of vendors for the next book. I paid, put a down payment for our copy editing for the next book. The next book is going to be, I'm telling you, I've just been soaked in study and research and building out my table of contents. When I tell you the holographic relationship is going to be unlike any, listen, if you don't want to be challenged, don't read the book. If you want to read some shit that make you feel good, it's not going to feel like a bowl of oatmeal. It's not going to feel like a bowl of cream of wheat, I promise you. Right? This book is going to challenge everything you've ever known about relationships, and it's a follow-up to the relationship dismount, how to stick the landing when exiting a toxic relationship. We need your support. We need you to cash mob this book today. I'm asking today. I want to see if we do it. I'm asking for 50 orders today. There's more than 50 people watching the show right now. There's thousands of people watching the show.
You just had 600 on your what's the name thing?
We had at least 600 people on the Periscope before the show.
Right.
So if we can get 50 orders of this book today, 50 orders will be mailed out today. So I'm asking for that today so we can continue generating the funds to finish the work on the holographic relationship book. It's going down. Now, with that said, there's other businesses that must be promoted. I haven't promoted these people in a while, but they're good people, and they've supported the Indiegogo campaign that we had in place, and they have a business up. It's called The Aria Rose Collection, and they create all of these leather-crafted, handcrafted purses and backpacks, and you know, it's very, very nice, high-end stuff. They did a backpack for me. A leather backpack. I have it right here, by the way.
Bust it out.
You know, they did this leather backpack for me.
That's nice.
Very nice work right here, man. These people are no joke. Got the little African print on the inside. I don't want to get all into it.
So with a little Kate Spade bag. Ain't that nice? Anybody?
The most talkative late nigga in America. Welcome after the fact. It's like he show up after the Kentucky Derby is over.
I heard y'all running some horses.
I got Happy Feet in the second. This shit is over. Anyway, the Aria Rose Collection. Please continue to support. And then finally, LaShawn Grice. Is she on the line? We should have her. Not Ayanna. That's our guest. LaShawn Grice. Comedian, actress, writer, host. LaShawn, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
LaShawn, why don't you tell these
Can you hear me?
people? Yes, we can hear you. We hear you over at Piggly Wiggly. It sounds like. Are you in the grocery store?
No, I'm in a gas station parking lot because I'm driving back to Atlanta from Iowa.
Could you please tell these people why your book is a must-read? I love it. But you tell them, because people need to hear from you. I've been promoting for the last few weeks. Why is Side Chicks Unite, LLC, a must-read book, LaShawn? Tell them.
It really is a good book. I know that people see the title and they get all up in, I don't know, they don't want to be grown, I guess. But it's a good book because it addresses a lot of issues that goes on in the black community, especially with black women. And it kind of shows how sometimes being bitter or going through something traumatic will cause you to do things that maybe if you wasn't emotional, you may not have done it. And so when I wrote the book, it was sort of like kind of purging because some of the stuff that actually happened in the book are based on true events.
Really?
Yes.
In your life?
Some in my life, some in some of my friends' life. Like, for instance, at the beginning of the book, there's a text message that one of the main characters received. I actually received that text message from a guy. So I kind of embellished it a little bit, the situation a little bit. But, yeah,
Wow.
that actually happened to me.
Tell them, what's the name of the book and where can they get it right now?
It's Sidechicks Unite LLC. You can get it from www.lashangrice.com.
Oh, you gonna
It's
spell
also
that?
available in ebook format on Amazon, Kindle, iTunes, and Google Play.
LaShawn, this is Jeff Brown, fellow road comic, road warrior. Need you to spell your name for those of us who didn't go to grammar school with you.
Okay. It's spelled LASHAWN, and my last name is GRICE.
LaShawnGrice.com.
There it is. Thank you for calling in. We
Right.
appreciate it. Listen.
Thank you.
Hey, it's all good. Listen, check this out. We've got to support these black businesses. I got a gang of them. Freedom Paper Company. Shouldn't wipe your backside with no other paper.
That's right.
They have bathroom tissue, not toilet tissue.
Let the brothers handle your shit.
Yes, let the brothers handle your shit. Freedom Paper Company. You guys got to support this company. Hey, there is a laundry detergent company too. Somebody sent me a link to them. If you could find that link, I will shout them out. It's a laundry, a group of brothers created some laundry detergent. And what
Make all your clothes smell like Egyptian musk. They got that? I'll buy that today.
Sandalwood.
Yeah, right? They coming in and smell like Knock Chomper.
I love it. Listen, there's so much more. Easy Boy Web. Pull up the website. Pull up Easy Boy Web. They did my website. You know, this brother right here, Landon Williams. When I tell you I be calling him at all hours of the night, hey, man, the website is tripping. He be like, hey, listen, man, I'm asleep, man, but I'm going to take a look at it, all right? Just give me another 6 hours. Yeah. No, but the brother is a great human being, down for the community, down for black business, down for entrepreneurialism. Easy Boy Web, you got to continue to support their movement. And who else I got? Not you. You at the end of the show. I done told you that. Okay, go ahead. I didn't tell you. Kev,
He don't want to put the booty at the end of the day.
Go ahead, Kev. Go ahead.
You got to put the booty at the beginning of the day.
Because we'll talk about, you know what? Let's just talk about how I was fucking you
I
up.
knew you was going to say No, you was not. Look,
Uh-oh.
you were not. What
You gonna lie?
What did I tell you on Friday?
God damn, you was going to lie.
Hey.
I knew you was going to lie.
I told you I would give you the 2 good hits that you had, and you lowballed me. Literally.
Oh, wow. He hit you in the...
Uh-huh.
Kev.
Oh, man.
Kev.
Did you?
Did you hit him in the back?
Them body blows I was hitting you with.
That wasn't shit. It was the push kicks. It was your push kicks.
You hit him in the batteries?
I did not hit him in the jejunum. It did not happen.
Huh? So,
I hit you in the groin. Is that what you saying?
You hit him in the batteries, yo?
Oh, you talking about when I kicked you?
yeah, when you kicked me.
I got real close.
Oh.
Yeah, I got real close.
That's the end of the session right there. Okay.
We got real close.
All right.
But no, I got some new shirts in the Real Naga store. Native Amaru Khan. Amaru means dragon, and Khan is sovereign or king or ruler. So you guys go in there and get that. Got some new Phoenix Moore shirts. And
shit.
Dragon
Oh, this your
Moore.
website?
Oh, shit. Wow. Go back up to them hoodies.
Oh yeah, hoodies, Dragon Moore hoodies. I don't have any Phoenix Moore hoodies yet, but they're coming, and also some iPhone cases. So that's realnagas.com, REEL Nagas Nagas.com.
My little
that's
10,
good.
hey, my little 10% better look good than a motherfucker.
Your 10% is you kicking me in the nuts.
Nah, my
That's
little
your
10% better look good.
Your 10% is you kicking me
Wait,
in the
what did I
nuts.
say? Without what?
He kicked it
Without
right.
prejudice. Oh yeah, I got
Right
shirts
in
here.
the
Without
batteries.
prejudice.
All right, so look, that's the community empowerment. Continue to support the movement continue. That's what we need. Don't forget, I need 50 copies of these moved today. I'll mail them out today as soon as the show is over. Please go to my website, iamzowilliams.com, and purchase your copy now. It is available on iTunes. It is available on Kindle. But I need 50 copies moved. And with that said, community empowerment has concluded. We shall return with a heater of a topic. Lord have mercy. We'll be back at 2.2.
Way you rock your chocolate. No skin bleach, keep your money in your pocket. I love the way you rock that.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Everybody knows that relationships, when they break down, can be extremely hurtful, disappointing, frustrating, and the cocoon was, the concept of it was created from a poem I wrote called The Human Chrysalis in my first book, The Rebirth of Seeds. And what I explained was, when you break up with someone, you need time and space to kind of flush out and process all of your feelings, all of your attachments, your evaluation of yourself, your evaluation of your partner, time to, almost take inventory of all of the things that you are accountable for. So in chapter 3, the cocoon is designed for you to go inside and work out these particular problems or issues, and not only work them out, but actually take ownership of them before you jump into something else with someone else. So we wanted to create this space of healing, this space of kind of internal inventory before moving into the next situation with unresolved relationship debris.
You gotta let it go. There's a better day waiting for you.
Yo, what's up? This your boy Kyle Master, and you're checking out T Radio V.
T Radio V.
T Radio V.
Hello, T Radio V. Love you guys. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV. You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
White guy like me co-hosting a black radio show. I think toxic relationships cause you to take poorer care of yourself. That if you can recognize danger, if you can pause, if you can take some breaths, refocus, and engage, you might be able to dodge a bullet that you're going to send coming towards you. One of the things that men don't get is that often women need to vent first to clear their mind. Okay, today's show, polygamy versus monogamy. But I really think what the show's about is self-restraint passe. Because when you talk about polygamy, what it is it's human, especially male nature, to not be monogamous. I think women tend to be more monogamous because they're sort of about nesting, men are about conquest. And maybe the idea is, my spin on it is self-restraint something a thing of the past? Because I was just wrote down something that one of our favorite experts, Ronnie Khan, talked about. Well,
shout out to Ronnie Khan.
Ronnie Khan.
Ronnie Khan. On one of the shows, I think we asked her what's the ideal man look like, but then we said, what would an ideal woman be? And I believe she said they'd be able to. You correct me. She'd be able to cook. She'd build up her guy instead of tearing him down when he comes home. And she'd be open to kind of growth and change instead of being oversensitive to criticism. And I think that's what she said. And I think we were all kind of wowed by that. But what that says to me is that shows a lot of self-restraint. Actually cooking when you don't want to. Actually building up your man when you don't want to. Actually being open to growing and criticism when you don't want to accept it. So I think this show, this thing about polygamy versus monogamy, is that it may go against I was going to say it goes against human nature. You know, I don't think there's such a thing as human nature. I think there's only animal nature, but there's the human potential to not give in to it.
I could smoke a bag of that. There you go. You did good today. Stayed on topic and everything.
Well, there you go.
You deserve to speak about Orlando now. You can talk about Orlando a little bit.
You have earned this privilege.
You have earned it by being on topic. Very good, young man.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Now you can speak about your heartbreak over Orlando. Go ahead.
Well, look, I want to be sensitive to my black colleagues here because they say, look, we live with this. You know, our hats are off to Orlando, but we live with this. We live with this in our communities, and it's not like we're trying to be insensitive to this, but, it's not new to us. Until someone focuses on making our communities better, it's tough to really get all that excited about something like this when this is happening every week in our community. So I just want to, my hat's off to what everybody in the black community has to live with when it tends to fall apart. But the whole thing about Orlando, my spin on it, and I'm going to be writing a blog on this, is often, why anti-terrorist, and I know some people who are in that training in that, why they're so afraid of terrorists is because when you have a combination of hatred, nothing to lose, and I'm going to be rewarded if I kill and die for something, there's no way to stop that. And so part of what I'm writing about is how do you reverse engineer hatred? So if you start that violence is usually precipitated by hatred, so I'm just working on that. It'll come out in the next, hopefully, few days. But, underneath violence is hatred. What leads to hatred? People aren't born to hate, but what happens that causes them to hate? So keep probably the next show, I'll send you a link to that.
All right, appreciate it. Hey, there it is. Listen, today's topic, let me set it up. Bobby and I'll come right back to you. Today's topic, as Dr. G covered so eloquently, sustainable polygamy. Should polygamous relationships be the new social family structure in the black community? True or false? It was women who originally created the concept of polygamy, not men. Oh, man, we got questions. We've got questions. Is the Bachelor and Bachelorette TV shows merely a diet version of polygamy and polyandry? Polyandry is the reverse of polygamy, I think. That's when women get to have multiple dudes, one woman, right? Oh, it's going down. Men couldn't handle that. Our ego is so damn fragile.
We already doing that.
Are we? We gonna see, because we got a woman on the phone that's gonna tell us about it. But let me get this together first.
Okay.
And get this big Grizzly Adams thermos.
This jar of weapons-grade plutonium.
Right. Jesus. Has the pursuit of monogamy and Prince Charming made most women gullible, insecure, and jealous?
Bow, wow, wow.
Fuck. That's a tough one. How do you swallow at night? Anyway, true or false? 73 to 93% of all world cultures have at one point been polygamous. So basically, monogamy is some new shit. But you know how easy it is to erase the memory of a society? It only takes a couple of generations. You look at the kids today who listen to hip hop. They don't know nothing about Big Daddy Kane or
God.
KRS.
Seriously.
They don't know nothing about that.
Nothing.
No.
That don't even. And some of them don't even know about Prince.
That's us, bro.
Some of them don't even know about Michael Jackson.
That's you.
Just
That's
let Kim.
us.
What? You ain't gonna let me just paint the picture?
I can't.
Before you disagree.
All right.
Turn Jeff Brown's microphone off. Like I can't yell at this bitch. True or false? Monogamy as the default relationship standard is only 200 years old. Basically, 200 years old, roughly. As the default relationship, right, standard, monogamy is relatively new.
Like Christianity.
A little older than that.
Like Christianity
is new on the block.
Is monogamy the Christianity of relationships? Lord have mercy, Jesus.
New on the block line.
Oh, God. And then the concept of sustainable polygamy. What is that? Is that some new shit, or is that some old shit that just seemed new because we've been conditioned to think otherwise?
Polygamy that work.
Can polygamy be a means to economic empowerment for African Americans? This is interesting. Listen, I'm not going to ask all the questions, but those are the questions we want to deal with today. Since Jeff was so fucking eager to interrupt, let's get his thought on it, and then Bobby G.
Oh, okay. Because, I ain't trying to jump ahead.
It's too late. You've jumped many times before.
Can't.
It's fine.
I'm trying not to jump ahead of the conductor of the Soul Train.
Here we go.
I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing, Bobby. I ain't fronting on you. I could do something like that. Overalls with a tie. What?
I mean, that is classy work.
What?
You hear me? That's high fashion
Let me tell you something.
work.
You remember Guess overalls? Like,
I got through cutting this wood. It's gonna be a goddamn jamboree down by the sawmill.
Meet me at the juke joint.
Exactly.
the juke joint.
Hey man, I don't know. It's maybe it's because I've been raised in this monogamous matriarchal society. It's not that I don't see it as possible. I just see it as 50, 60 years off. I don't think it's as close as everybody thinks it is.
What do you mean?
The concept of just overall open polygamy. I think this virus we got that's called our social order is going to take a few more generations to shake this cold. I don't think that it's right around the corner.
But I think it is here. I just think it's understated and it's quiet.
Oh, you think it's going down now?
Everybody, you can be married and it don't mean nothing. Married pussy is very, very good cooter.
Okay.
And it's available.
Okay.
Isn't it whack? Isn't it whack? There are a lot of people doing side deals while they're in marriage, while they're in relationship. And all I'm saying is, just because you don't call it polygamy doesn't mean that ain't what it is.
What it is, especially if you're in love with the side chick.
How about it?
Well, I'm not saying that that's not what you do. I'm saying personally. Maybe because I ruined myself. I've had more pussy than Nickelback's drummer. And I don't know that I want to have to be in a social position where I'm responsible for more than one woman.
There you go.
Shout out to George Wilborn. I'm going to give it to Uncle Bobby. George Wilborn has a joke about Solomon and his 700 wives. He said, 700 wives?
700.
If I got 700 wives, my goddamn house bed, and I'd never be dirty. 374, why didn't you fucking get in here and boss the fuck?
374.
It ain't my joke, man. It's George Will. Shout out to George Wilborn.
374.
He got a hilarious joke about Solomon and all them wives. But think about that. How you gonna? Think about what you deal with one woman. Do you think it's just gonna be like a female Rolodex? You know what? Oh, really? Click. Let me get you in here. No, I don't know. It makes me a little nervous.
I got to throw something in them. I want to go to Bobby, but did you know that the fewer and fewer people are getting married in Europe? They're living together, and I'm guessing that their relationships may be more stable. And I think part of it is when you're married, it feels like you gotta be with each other. Whereas if you're not married, you're choosing to be with each other. And I think there's something about feeling like you gotta be with the other person that puts the worry into being close.
But Doc, what if you gotta choose? Like, okay, say two people get together and they chose to be in that marriage, and they kind of gotta choose each other. If you understand what I'm trying to say, like you chose to be married.
Yeah.
You chose that. I think the reason why people choose marriage is because they're choosing Walt Disney's version of it.
Conditioned, yes.
And they think, oh, this is the Super Bowl of relationships.
Well, there's a big part of people who choose to stay in a marriage because they don't want to lose the other person. It's not that they want to be with the other person; they just don't want to lose them. And when the other person says, if this isn't going anywhere, I'm leaving. Often that person says, okay, let's get married, but they didn't want to get married. They just didn't want to lose the other person.
Bobby?
Well, we use these phrases, polygamy, bigamy, et cetera, et cetera.
Shigamy, digamy.
Yeah, and it really just kind of confuses the organic nature of relationship between a man and a woman. I've seen people that were still very hot for each other after being so-called married or cohabitating over a period of years, and there was never a challenge to that because they didn't have to seek outside of that relationship whatever was missing in all these other situations that we're talking about. I just find it almost impossible to believe that you can actually be yoked with another person and another person at the same time. I just don't see where there's enough room.
You think that's impossible?
I think it's impossible for that to be sustainable. Now, you might have a fling with somebody, but if you got two women in the house or more with you at the same time, somebody is repressing their dissatisfaction.
Uh-oh, let's bring the ladies in.
Blow the locomotive horn on the soul train.
We've got ladies in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce a sister who knows this subject
very well,
quite intimately. She has experience
in this area
on being a sister wife.
Really?
Ah, you must speak to us about the life you've lived. Tell us.
At once.
Welcome to the show. Ayana is in the building. Could you tell us who you are, where you'd call in from, and what your experience is on this topic?
Peace, guys and goddesses. Yes, I have been in polygamous relationship. I did a video on polygamy and why I thought it would be beneficial for the Black community about a year ago, and it went viral. And since then, I've had lots of conversations and discussions and really learned a lot about polygamy. And one of the first things I want to say is that polygamy just means spouse with multiple spouses, so that could be either way. Polyandry and polygyny are both forms of polygamy. So when we're talking about a man with multiple women, we're really talking about polygyny in specific, because polyandry is a form of polygamy. I think polygamy is definitely a next wave of what the future Black relationship should look like. I think that we need to realize that we are in a war, and because of the social and economic structure that we are in and the oppression that we are under, it would be beneficial financially, economically, to consolidate baby mamas for one, bills for another, and come together in the sisterhood, especially for the sisters, because I don't think polyandry needs to be practiced as much right now, because let's say, for instance, in Jackson, Mississippi, where I live, the number of single Black women to single Black men is 13 to 1. So when we look at numbers like that, we have to look at,
so y'all got to share anyway.
Out there.
That's what you're saying.
Wow,
You saying y'all got
Right,
to
we're
share
already
anyway.
practicing it.
Right.
Yes, we have it. We already have it. It's here.
Where do you live?
It's already happening.
Where do you live?
I live in Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh, Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay, how many people in your tribe?
How many people have I
That's
worked
Bobby
with?
now. That's Bobby. How many people in your tribe, sister?
I have been in one polygamous relationship, and it was more of not an official marriage, but a union between a brother and a sister of mine. And me and the sister were best friends after we got into this relationship, and it was probably one of the easiest relationships I ever had in my life.
So why did it end?
Thank you, Jeff.
Why did it end?
Why did it what?
Why did it end?
He added a white girl.
Why did it end?
Because he added a white girl to the group. No.
Hey, he wanted a Neapolitan ice cream sandwich, huh?
Well, okay, enlighten us. What were the dynamics? How did the dynamics change? Did he just show up one night and y'all, y'all said grace, and then he ding dong. Oh, it's Becky. How did it? What?
Oh, and I believe she had some type of Becky name like that, Susie, something like that. One of the.
Wow.
You don't
he
even.
had some money in.
Okay, before the white girl got into the mix, was there a hierarchy? Was there a preference? I mean, was there one and 1A, or how did y'all work that out?
Yeah. Who was the top girl? Because it's always a favorite.
Number one.
2 queens in one house? Shit.
So none of us lived together.
Oh, wait a minute. You breaking up. Listen.
breaking up,
listen,
mama.
listen. You breaking up. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, I want you to finish that. Hopefully you can get somewhere where your service is a little bit better. You're breaking up. But when we come back, we're going to deal with that. And we have another woman on the line who wants to speak about sustainable polygamy. We doing it anyway. We'll be back.
Blood in my tears, I'ma teach cause you a slow learner. I am the fear that's been living in your mind for years. The waking giant, I am millions of people who no longer wish to follow your command. Cause we know that you a thief.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
I'm Laura Somoza.
I'm Sterling Gardner.
And we are Between the Sheets every Monday here, 3 p.m., tradiov.com.
T Radio V.
That's right, it's T Radio V, radio in TV. What is that face?
He wants to see our hands.
That's radio in TV. Wah, 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 wah.
We're not a couple.
Hi kids, Billy Francesca here for my brand new show at T Radio V, Advice from an Idiot, every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. So please call in and get some advice from someone who knows absolutely nothing about everything.
Hey, my fellow thoughters out there. I'm Charles Shaughnessy. Check out my new show, Here's a Thought, with Charles Shaughnessy, August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. Now, you know I have a lot to say, but I want to hear what you have to say. So tune in, grab your phones, call me, tweet me, email me in the studio, and let's get this conversation going. Here's a Thought, starting August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. That's radio in TV.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Hotep family, it's the goddess Ayana, and today I wanted to talk to the brothers who are thinking about polygamy and what you guys need to be doing in order to get ready for a polygamous household. One, we got to make sure that the household is secure, financially sound especially, because we don't want any situation where you're not able to maintain anything in the household, not able to get the resources that you need because you weren't financially sound before you added on another woman into the household. So let's make sure that we got our money game right. You got a job, okay, really you should have your own business, but in today's society I understand that jobs is the main source of income. So you have your job, you're trying to get another woman, you need to be trying to find another hustle to balance out when another woman comes in, because we don't want to rely on the women for income. We don't ever want to do that. Now, when it's something you have to do, then you do it. But you never want to put that kind of pressure on a woman, because working and stress and we're trying to get back to the African household. We want to relieve the name of the game is to relieve each other of all the stress. And the way men do that for women is you provide and you protect and you love, right? And the way women do that is we cater, we maintain order in the household, and we love. Right? So we want to be playing our roles in this thing. Now, if it's okay for a woman to be able to supplement and help bring in. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, especially in today's age. We just don't want her working full time. Really don't want her working part time. And if she is getting money, we want it to be something that she's maybe at home able to bring income from the home, you know, in her arena. All right, and so we want to be financially sound and secure. Now, if you're financially sound and secure, you got that, because that's going to be one of the bases. Because what woman is going to come into a relationship that values herself? And you need to be, women need to be gaining self-confidence right now. If your woman does not have the self-confidence, then you need to be working that out. You both need to be figuring out what needs to be done for your woman to get self-confidence, because if you bring another woman into a household where your woman is not self-confident, that is breeding grounds for drama and disharmony. and we're trying to get ma'at. We're trying to bring the balance right. We're trying to harmonize, right? So we don't want to do that. Be financially sound. Your woman needs to be secure in herself. So we're working out any insecurities that you have. If your relationship ain't on point, it needs to get on point. You need to be very well connected. It doesn't need to be any sneaky things going on. It needs to be full-blown trust. Everything is out in the open. Good communication going on. If your communication isn't on point, this is definitely not something that you need to be entering into. Trying to look into getting another woman while your communication is messed up with your woman at home. No, we don't do that. We want to make sure that relationship with self is on point. Relationship with the original two is on point before we go out and get another. All right. Otherwise, if your foundation isn't stable and you're adding other
Okay, so we just we're back. T Radio V, Zo What Morning Show. Today's topic's sustainable polygamy. We just watched the video of the sister that's on the phone, Ayana, and the fellas. They like, hell no, none of them things gonna work. Let's figure it out, man. There's gotta be a favorite. And then maybe she's number two. Maybe your favorite chooses one for you. You know how that happens sometimes where you got a girl, she open to that. And she goes, you can have another. We can introduce another into the situation.
I actually have a family member that has that.
But I got to choose her. You know how the woman is like, let me choose her.
Me choose a chick.
My question is.
She going to choose you the pine saw lady?
Right. Say she chooses somebody that you really vibe with, because this happens often. You hella vibe with her, and the chosen kind of usurps the original.
The chooser.
How does this all work out? I mean, because, most people don't have relationship tools in their toolbox. Most people's relationship toolbox is empty. They got maybe a straw, toothpick, got
firecracker.
Right. They don't have
38.
Right. They don't have a lot of tools. So if you add people to it, if you add complexity to something that you already are lacking, skills in,
you add more work with less tools.
It seems like you're adding a level of conflict, you're adding a level of stress, a level of frustration.
Oh, no.
You're adding some trouble. Doc?
How about a question in relationships? Do you think when you run into a rough spot, should you deal with it or should you just sub in someone else? Because a lot of times, you talking to what Zoe says, a lot of times the person who's your favorite is the person who's giving you who's being less of a pain in the ass at the moment. And so what happens is sometimes, things are going okay and you feel frustrated, but instead of dealing with that thing, you sort of say, well, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm going to go somewhere else. And so do you think there is a place for actually dealing with conflicts in relationships? Because what we're talking about is why deal with something when you can sub in someone or something that'll make you feel better for the moment?
Well, the operative thing is for the moment, but the reality is until you work things out with the person you had that conflict with, adding somebody else to that mix is just adding somebody else to a toxic mix. And the problem that we seem to want to just push to the side is everybody has feelings. And either you're being honest about your feelings or you just capitulating to the situation. But eventually that's going to come to a head at some point.
Kev?
Well, the point of if you're going to come together and be in that type of relationship, polygamy, which is marriage, marrying many more than one person. If you go back to the history of it, polygamy started around in Greece right after Homer. And monogamy. Monogamy started in Greece right after Homer. Before that, they were all polygamists. And they started because it was more of a democratic decision. Because if you had nobles back in the day, they would take most of the women. Then that would leave the poor guys without women. And then eventually they would get angry, upset, and then start ripping up shit. So it was more of a democratic thing to implement monogamy. So then the Romans picked it up. They perfected it because their law was better. Implemented Christianity, which helped solidify it. But the coming together, it was mostly it was a business deal for social stratification. So, like if you watch Game of Thrones, and I'll go back to this all the time, you guys need to understand Game of Thrones. So, husband when you talk about husband, that comes from the house bond, and that was because the Lord, who was right up under a king.
'Tis I.
Yes,
My
'tis
Lord.
I. So the Lord, he ruled the land, but he had a house on the land. So if you heard that if you watch Game of Thrones, it's called the House of Lannister, the House of this. So his house, it was the Lord's house. So the vassal or the servant who was bound to the land, he was called the house bond or the husband. He was bound to the house of the land of the Lord. Then he was also called the master of the house. That's lower than a lord, which today, if you call a kid before a kid becomes an adult, you call him master. Then he becomes Mister. These are lower titles that were put on people. So you have to understand, if you're not coming together to create something big, within that relationship, if you're not coming together to grow and create an economic opportunity, which is really what it was all about, then you can just basically have sex on the side. You can have your sex, but if you're coming together and trying to create that type of relationship, you definitely need to be creating something in the world. Or what's the point? You just wasted energy.
Legacy, family. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I want to.
Yes, legacy for.
Okay, the historics is academic and really cool if I'm watching Game of Thrones, but I'm trying to see how this shit really works. Like now, because back the Game of Thrones was back before cell phones and refrigerators and cars and shit. Now, Iana, if I may ask, no relationship is perfect. What would you say would be the biggest red flags to watch out for, or that you encountered?
Wow.
As part of this threesome that you guys had?
I think that the biggest red flag would be like sneakiness and just dishonesty. When I start feeling like you're being dishonest about things, then that's when things start crumbling apart.
Okay, let me get this straight. There was a man who had two women who he was obviously attracted to, and they may or may not have been attracted to each other, but they were very cool with the situation. And this man, when you say honesty, I'm guessing you're talking about with regard to sex, was still being dishonest. He still did two wasn't enough in the one house. That didn't work. I'm trying to figure out how this crashed. Because this sounds great to me. Just trying to figure out how he messed this up.
Once again, he was just, once you start mentioning the third woman who was white, at first he didn't tell us that she was white. Once he told me she was white, I was done.
Was he a pro-black?
And what was so bad about her being white?
You said what?
What was so bad about her being white?
I don't do that in interracial stuff. That's my personal preference. I choose not to do exchange energies and entities with a woman from a race of people that have oppressed my people for ever since they did.
Okay, fair enough. But did he know this? Did he know that you guys were so polarized against it, or was it just you?
It was just me, and he knew I was. Yes, he knew I was, which is why he was sneaky with it for me for a second until it came out.
Okay, so are those three together still?
No, they're not.
Ah, okay.
I want to touch with
But
Zoe.
they did have a baby together, so they still.
Wow.
Okay, which they?
The black, my black sister.
Oh, the sister and the brother had a baby together.
Yes.
Okay. What did he do with the snow bunny?
Right, yeah.
Snowflake.
I don't think that lasted too long.
Hey, I'm the white guy. I have a question to ask.
This is the snow hair.
It's whitey locks. Now, I'm actually black. I'm just an albino black.
Okay. Trying to pass the other way.
What was it? No, I understand you're just speaking for yourself. I understand you're speaking for yourself. But what is it like for a black woman when a black man chooses a white woman? What is that like psychologically? What?
Well, when you don't have as much insecurities as they try to place upon us, you don't think of it as I feel like I'm less than because he likes somebody else. You think, oh snap, I got another crew, I got another teammate. Oh snap, this is a team. Teamwork made a dream work. You feel me? So it was kind of fun for me.
Wait a minute, you just said that the whole concept of 400 years of oppression of your people, that don't go with teamwork make the dream work. He said, what happens when a black man, and I don't think if I don't.
No, I was just curious because we have you on the line.
Outside of monogamy, I think.
Outside of monogamy. But, when a black man.
Do you cut your eyes at a black man when you see him walking down the street with a white woman?
Oh yes, almost definitely. I mean, I don't cut in my eyes. I'm just
like, look at this waste of black man.
Okay.
Yes or no? But what goes on when you see that? I mean,
I feel like the brother doesn't have knowledge of self. I feel like he doesn't have as much respect for his mother as he should. And it's not much. I don't put much energy into that. I just really just brush it off. But I do feel like you lack knowledge of self if you are dating outside of. If you're black and you're dating outside of a black woman.
Okay. Now, I'm just incredibly being the devil's advocate here because
yes, and I have another guest.
Yes, okay, last question. My wife is black. All my kids is by black women. Now, that means I've served my time in hell. When the green bitches get here, if I want to date one, I should be able to, but that's not my point. My point is this. Are you familiar with the artist Lenny Kravitz?
Yes.
Whose father was a Jew and his mother was black.
You mean Tom?
Yeah, Tom and Helen Willis, yeah. How do you feel about a man like that dating a white woman or a Jewish woman? How is that disrespectful to? Yeah. I mean, that's half of who he is, right?
Same thing. Not half anything. He's black. He's black. Dominant over everything. Black. So I feel the same way about anybody who has a mother or father that is white. But the other parent is black. When I see them with a white counterpart, I still feel like they lack knowledge of self.
Okay. Now, are you aware that, and I'll just speak for the very few, okay, yeah, there are some brothers out there who hate themselves, who date white women as a prize. There are some brothers who just really don't like sisters and they date white women. Are there any brothers who just said, fuck it, I'm tired of not getting the last word? Is that a demographic at all? That say, you know what?
You know what? There's plenty of women that there's plenty of black women that are submissive and can cater and won't do the strong black woman thing that a lot of black men are so intimidated by. There's plenty of black women.
Okay, that's a great answer.
It's really a scapegoat for me.
That's a great answer to another question. That's a great answer to another question.
Hold on. Because that's an issue, and I think we need to cover that. Like, that should be its own segment.
Okay.
Right? What Jeff is saying is really heavy, and I really want to know what, Iyanna thinks about this, because we talk about this before on other shows where, I went off, and I was talking about how if America and the ideological structure of America, the sociological construct of America, puts the white male as the top dog.
Top dog, yeah.
Right? And if you're looking at through the lens of ageism, racism, sexism, classism, and then you look at where the black man falls in American society,
he's still falling.
He's a fucking enemy right off the top. Then, if you look at the modern-day black woman, who is the #1 educated gender in the world, right? The #1 educated gender in the world is the black female. So, follow me with this.
Yeah.
If the black female is getting all of her social cues from a sick society, does that then make her a white supremacist? And
a lot of us have to kill the white supremacist inside of us.
That's my point.
There's a lot of us walking around with white supremacy in our heads.
So my point is, how do we get her back on the same side as? Because this is going to be hard as hell to have two of them in a relationship. That's gonna be hell on earth. You get 2 of them? I'm just posing that.
Well,
I want to get your thoughts on that, Iyanna. I'm going to get out the way.
okay. Honestly, I think that we're all broken. We're shattered.
Come on, Mama. Come on. That's what's up.
I think we need to love each other. And when we criticize each other, I think we need to do it with the intent of love and not to just belittle the other party.
True.
We have to do this thing with love. We really have to mend each other right now. We are in a state where we have to glue each other back together. And that's one of the reasons why I think polygamy. Polygamy to me is like foot glue. You know what I'm saying? With our families, all these children run around without their fathers, you know? So to me, polygamy is foot glue. And I think just to love black women and love them in such a way that even when you know that she's bitter and she's angry and she says black men ain't shit, that you still love her because you know that that's coming from a painful place. It's coming from a fearful place. It's not because she just hates the black man. It's because she's hurting.
Okay,
and
so
we have to understand that from each other.
I can get that.
That's big.
I can get that. I understand that. But the only way that her pain is not nullified is if she is willing to work on and deal with the damage that has been done to her, and if you're willing to help her with that. Something I've had to learn the long way is that the black woman, or the woman, is where a man sows his seeds to manifest, and not just children, all his ideas, his dreams, his goals. What if, and this is a question I pose to you, if a man knows that and views the new sister as scorched earth, as in whoever came before him scorched this earth, Jim Crow scorched it, Willie Lynch scorched her daddy, whatever scorched her earth, if she is not willing to cultivate that earth with him, is he wrong for going, okay, I see you hurting, but I can't fix this? Is he wrong for not wanting to go into that?
Okay, before you answer that, I want you to hold on, because we have another guest.
Yes, okay, yes, let's bring the new guest in.
Jesus, we got another guest. Please, Iyanna, hold on to that question.
Heavy ass topic.
And then answer it. Okay? When I come back to you, I want the answer for that question. Can I get that?
Okay.
All right. Bobby said something in the car that I think needs to be said right now before I bring this next guest in here. And this speaks to what we've been talking about, Jeff. Please say what you said to me in the car, Bobby.
Well, it seems that a lot of us have been in a position where we've been with somebody that basically acted as though, I hope you make it, but I ain't going to help you.
I'm done. I'm leaving.
All right. Now let's get another perspective. Do we have Lion Leo on the phone? This is a sister from Twitter. This is a woman from Twitter who saw all of the tweets about today's show. I don't know her. I don't know what she's going to say. But she was on the line. Leo, Lion Leo, speak to me. Are you paying attention to today's show?
A little bit. I'm in and out. I'm trying to do a little bit of work, too. But, yes, I am paying attention, and I see some of the tweets.
Okay, so you had some pretty strong reactions to what was being said. Go ahead and share those right now while you're on the air.
Right. Well, you brought up polygamy, you brought up the Bible, and I just feel like, yes, that's correct if you're married.
What's correct?
Polygamy, right? In the Bible, and you try, oh, yeah, but polygamy's in the Bible, so it's okay, It's like, oh, okay, but you're not married. Like if a guy's trying to be a player.
Oh,
and he's
okay,
trying
I
to
see
also
what you
cite
said.
the Bible, and he's also trying to throw in polygamy, like, it's okay, it's just what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to go out there and play, plant my seed, whatever, So you can't say both the polygamy and the Bible and then still try to be single and go out there playing all kinds of women.
Hey, which Bible you talking about? The one written in pencil?
What?
I just asked, which Bible are you referring to? The one that was written in pencil? That came with an eraser?
Multiple marriages in the Bible, right? I can't quote that. I hear it all the time. That's why I actually asked. I'm like, where is that in the Bible? Actually, I would like to read about it.
Oh, God, yes.
Go to Song of Solomon, which is in the Old Testament. Solomon, David, Let me see.
Solomon is the son of David. David had many wives.
Yes, David had many wives, Solomon.
What did
Okay,
David
great,
do?
great.
David
So that's
killed
for
his
married men.
general to get his general's wife.
Say again?
That goes for a married man, not for a single player out there playing the field.
Okay, so listen, don't box yourself into a corner, because if you get married, you are now giving consent to your married husband to bring on another wife.
And here's something else.
Absolutely.
Here's
I'm
something.
not boxing myself in, because then I know and I understand. I know where I know what I'm getting into. When you're dating a single man who's trying to be a player, he's probably not going to be honest about it because he doesn't want to ruin his game.
Excuse me.
So I'm saying no. I'm not boxing myself in a corner. But if I got married to a man and I was going to be in a polygamous type of environment, I would know firsthand what I'm getting into. So then I'd be like, okay, I know what's up.
Okay,
That's
Miss-
oxymoronic.
Miss- yes,
If you're
yes.
dating a single man that's out there playing,
Miss
you don't know
Leo.
exactly what he's doing because he
Hold
doesn't
down.
want to. He doesn't want to lose you.
Okay,
Now.
Miss Leo. I think we have a couple of misconceptions about the term player. Okay, I'm from Chicago, the Player Academy. Players don't lie.
Oakland might disagree, but go ahead.
Yeah, Oakland might disagree. Players don't lie. When you brought up a player, this is my definition of one. A player is a man who can be in a room or walk into a room, and in that room are 3 or more women he is sleeping with who may or may not know each other, but they all know that they ain't the only one, and they're all cool with it. That's a player. If that man walks into a room and recognizes 2 women he's sleeping with and has to leave, that man is a liar. And it sounds like you have been exposed to far more liars than players.
And guess what? Players aren't just single. Players are politicians.
Yes.
Players are preachers.
Yes.
Players are,
Come on, bruh.
Players are not just single men.
This is the
Players are husbands.
This is the reason why I wrote the book, Real Men Don't Play.
Don't play.
Real men don't play,
Too
goddamn.
much confusion with all this bullshit going on out here now.
Well, listen, Leo, I really appreciate your call. Thank you for your fiery attitude. Leo in the building. We appreciate it, and thank you for calling in and chiming in.
Yeah. thank
Now,
you.
let's get back to Iyanna. You got to answer Jeff Brown's question.
Yeah.
Because that was real. I wanted to give you time to pull your thoughts together on it. What's your answer to Jeff Brown? You dropped her? I'm going to kill both y'all. No, don't show your real self on
Now, what was the question again, though?
Yeah, what was the
Oh, I done forgot you.
He smokes way too much weed to remember that.
Shout out to Corrupt with them moon rocks. Oh, my
Lord,
God.
Lord have mercy,
Anyway.
We just remember it was profound.
No, we'll get her back.
My question to her was about the demographics of brothers who date out their race. And I'm going to give her the brothers who couldn't wait to get a white woman. Could not wait. Trophy wife, wanted to walk around with her on her arm. I will give her the brothers who have such utter disdain for black women that they won't date black women. And both of those brothers' minds are lost, in my opinion.
Right.
Will she give me, maybe, just maybe, a few of them brothers? How many in a room full of 100 brothers? How many of them just want the last word? Got tired of being cussed out at their mama funeral. Okay, how many of them just want, in the words of James Hanna, white women are winning because they know what the phrase "wait till we get in the car" means.
Ooh, shit.
Rest in peace, James Hanna. That was
James Hanna. I remember James.
Yeah,
man.
he used to come with it.
You know, whether it's male or female, she mentioned hurt people hurting people. At the same time, it's impossible for us to impose the responsibility of fixing self on the other person. And I've been guilty of myself. I've seen somebody that was bitter and broken and tried to plow through that, knowing full well that they can't bring that to me. I got to accept the fact that that's their problem. It's not mine. And they have to address that, because the worst thing that's ever happened to me is to know that I'm dealing with a victim. because they already done made up their
Yep,
mind that
exactly.
I'm gonna fall short.
Victim mode.
So I'm gonna be the problem no matter what.
Wow.
And that's not gonna. It's the same way if you reverse that thing and you meet a lady and you bring your baggage to her. It's the same thing.
Well, when we come back, I'm gonna compile a rant between then and now because this is way off of where I thought I was gonna be able to go today. But we will be back in 2 minutes.
Drive your baby mama to the clinic just to kill your own. Ain't no legacy to leave behind, cause ain't nobody sitting on your throne. You motherfuckers are asleep in a war zone.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Hey, my fellow thoughters out there. I'm Charles Shaughnessy. Check out my new show, Here's a Thought, with Charles Shaughnessy, August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. Now, you know I have a lot to say, but I want to hear what you have to say. So tune in, grab your phones, call me, tweet me, email me in the studio, and let's get this conversation going. Here's a Thought, starting August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. That's radio in TV.
Hey geeks, wake up! We got big news. I'm not gonna mumble this time. Geekscape, the long-running movie video game. Let me do one more. Hey geeks, we got big news! Geekscape, your favorite show about movies, video games, comics, and TV, is coming to T Radio V Monday, October 6th. And it'll be on every Monday from then on, 7 p.m. Until the apocalypse happens, we're all eaten by zombies.
Hi, I'm Bob Nalbandian, and be sure to watch my show Inside Metal, which airs live every Tuesday from 3 to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on T Radio V. I'm going to be bringing in the greatest heavy metal artists live right here in the studio. Once again, every week at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, every Tuesday, right here at tradiov.com, radio in TV.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Wow. Zoe always digs in the bag and come up with some heaters, and this one is no different. I guess where I am with this is you ever have somebody tell you, I'm going to bake a cake for your birthday. And when you get there, it's a cake. Yellow with chocolate icing, if that's your, that's my get down. How would you feel if you got there and what the person actually had was eggs, sugar, flour, milk, and a little bit of salt?
The ingredients.
You got the ingredients, but you ain't made no cake. You know what sets me apart from you with regard to them ingredients? A made cake. God damn it, I could have bought them ingredients. You said you was making a cake. Personally, I don't think that this society in this form, with these social cues and these problems and this much following of the media, is ready for a polygamy cake. I believe it's just a bunch of motherfuckers in line with egg, sugar, flour, and salt waiting on their turn in the oven. It really is not. I think it's a great concept. I think it's a fantastic concept, but this concept only goes with the absence of technology. technology stands in the way of this to me. Remember when pussy was king?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Up until about the early 70s, pussy was king. Wasn't no PlayStation. Wasn't no Xbox. Wasn't no Roku. Wasn't no Netflix. Pussy was king. Technology comes along. The internet comes along. And now it's second or maybe sometimes a distant third. So unless and until, again, here I go with my fatalist shit, I think polygamy is a great idea, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think, or right now, until it either changes or collapses, the society we have now will not support polygamy. That's like you showing up with cleats and a helmet and a ball and pads, and them niggas playing hockey that day. I don't think we have the tools yet. I'm gonna wait till the end of this show. But just for me personally, I can't deal with but one at a goddamn time.
Iana?
I have to disagree.
Okay.
Let her disagree.
Go right ahead.
I'm going to disagree because I think actually and I think that may be an older view because a lot of the young sisters are getting hip to this. Really it's the women that have to say okay to this. And I think that we're getting more hip because of technology, indeed, because of the YouTube, people sharing their views on polygamy, people sharing their experiences of polygamy, social media. I think the same thing that may hinder it could assist it. So I think it's just whichever way you see it. I see a lot of my friends now, a lot of the women that are around me, strong, beautiful black women entrepreneurs, are absolutely becoming more and more open to the idea. If they're not all the way on board, they're almost there. And I think that the young wave of generation, we're into this. We're getting into it. We're open. We're a little bit more open because we're a little bit more rebellious than the older. So the new ideas of relationships, just period, intrigue the younger generation because we're trying to do a lot of this stuff in a new way because we know that this society is not working for us.
Bobby, and then Dr. G.
There's some universal principles. I don't care whether it's old or new. Feelings are feelings. And we talked earlier in the show about the fact that we got a new woman who's more assertive, who is more
better educated, got more money.
And how is she going to go from that to going into a situation where she's got natural hair and she's going to pay for somebody else's weave in the same household? I just don't see that happening anytime soon because it comes back to, as individuals, we want what we want when we want it.
Doc?
Ayana, how old are you?
I'm 26 years old.
How old? That broke up.
26.
26.
Okay. You just gave me an insight I got to share about millennials versus us.
Yes.
No, versus you.
None of you are
versus us. No, goddamn it.
I'm half past dead. I know.
Right.
But I'm dragging you into that grave with
No,
me.
you're not, goddamn it. Close that sarcophagus on your hands.
You're going to like this, Mike. And I'm going to get a response from Kevin because he's our etymologist here. There's a difference between polygamy being a reaction to something and being a response to something. And I see that some of the older people see a lot of new stuff. We react to it. We push back. We find something wrong. But as I get to know younger people, what they're doing is a response to sort of the way the world is now. But I can feel the energy that as we get older, we'll hear something new and we'll react to it, probably because it's threatening to us, because it's not our turn like it is the millennials' turn. But and that's why I try to hang out with millennials, because I see that they're responding to the world the way it is, and we're kind of reacting. And so that's why I wanted to get your age, because so I'd just like to drill down, is polygamy a reaction to something? And then we're pushing back. We see it as a reaction, and we think it's a bad reaction. It's a reaction. Its time has not come for some years. And maybe what you're saying is, no, it's a response to something, and we're doing it now.
Well, I'd like to say I agree with her on certain points about
absolutely
the coming together. You can do more things with more people in the
I
house.
agree with that part too.
Now, that is originally what monogamy was for. because back in the day when you got coupled with a woman, she was of high class, and so she had some shit to bring to the table. So, you know, this is where you were trying to increase your house by marrying someone of another house.
It was a status thing. It was a class thing.
It was a status thing, class thing. Now, even though when they got married,
power move.
The man, he still had sex with many women, but that was his wife or his partner. You know, so I do believe in that. But if you're going to come together today, especially as far as polygamy, if you're not bringing anything to the table, I mean, if you can't do anything and we're just coming together for sex, then what the fuck is the point? You can just be a player and get that shit outside of it. So if you're coming together, let's create something. And Zoe mentioned, earlier, he said coming together for family and legacy. Well, that goes back to the slavery thing. Family, the whole house, the whole number of slaves under one household. So you were trying to increase. You were basically increasing the Lord's property, the Lord of the land. You were increasing his property, and as well, the term breadwinner comes from the Lord being called the loaf ward, because
loaf ward.
That's where Lord comes from. So because on his land he grew all the agriculture, and he was responsible for feeding all the people on his land. So he was the loaf ward.
The loaf ward. Jesus.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
So unless you're coming together.
I'm the loaf ward around this bitch.
Around this bitch, I control all the loaves.
That's right.
But isn't that true? Even in a monogamous relationship, you don't want somebody who's not going to bring anything to the table. So that can be true of monogamy and polygamy.
No, it is.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely true. But I think what Kevin is talking about is in your video, you mentioned that the women or the brother got to have his shit together because he going to have to take care of them.
Right.
And what I'm noticing is women have a lot of access to resources that they didn't have back when polygamy was, the standard.
Yes.
Now, women have better education. They have better jobs. They got money in their pocket. They can afford things.
There you go.
And in a lot of ways, this is why some of the feminist concepts of the disposable man came into being, which is I could do this by myself. I could be by myself and be miserable, nigga. I can pay for all this shit. I got this. Right?
Thank you.
So my point is, if there is going to be a polygamy, like Kevin is saying, the polygamy got to be with super bad women who got hella resources and abilities to do things. Because now you
let's create an empire.
Unless, of course,
we're living in a different time.
Yes.
Back in the day when polygamy was prominent, the man would go out and kill a raccoon. And bring it home and say, skin this motherfucker up and get this right.
Exactly.
Couldn't polygamy help resurrect the natural roles of the man and woman, because it calls for the man to bring in more resources. And I believe that if women start bringing in skills, and that instead of we're looking outside for jobs, I always try to bring it back to entrepreneurship. We should be owning our own stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes, I agree.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Warfare.
Yes.
Let's create an empire.
But see, now you see your challenge, because your challenge as Ayana, the pro-polygamous girl, how do you convey to the modern woman of today who goes, fuck him?
Yeah. How you tell Stella? How you tell Stella? Stella got her groove back. How you gonna tell her?
Do you see what I'm saying? So there has to be a reconditioning of her mind, because there's a false sense of security and superiority on that sister, because that sister feels like you got to meet me up here.
Yes.
And you have to say, well, where is up here and who built the elevator?
Well, I don't think we have to worry about them sisters at all.
Oh, yeah, you do.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Here's why. Unless and until a sister that is a CEO can submit to a man that's a garbage man,
that ain't gonna ever happen.
Exactly. No. So she gonna be feeding both her cats by hand forever.
But Doc brought up something I just want to quickly speak to, and that is the difference in errors. I think that's mitigated by the universal truth. And that is, I don't care what generation you are, you're going to run into right and wrong at some point.
Wow.
Because it's like sometimes when I talk to younger people, and they'll hold a position as long as they can, which is about a millisecond. Because it's going to come back to, when you start having a conversation with one of these young wizards, you know, one of these little 8 or 9 year olds that talk way beyond their years.
You mean like King Knob?
And they dick ain't got hard yet. So
no,
it's like,
not King Knob.
not necessarily King Knob. I'm just saying there is still some fundamental truths, and that is, I don't care whether you look at it generationally, it's going to come back to, does it really work, and how long is it going to last? Because you're going to be treated the way you treat people, or you're going to rebel against that. It's going to happen.
Kev?
Yes, Jeff said something a minute ago. A CEO won't submit to a garbage man. I don't necessarily think she should. She should find somebody who's as high powered as she is mentally and energetically, and then get with that person.
So what you're telling me is that there are no high powered, energetic garbage men?
No, what I'm saying is she should find somebody on that same plane. That same plane. If
which plane?
If she's a CEO,
which plane are we discussing?
And he's a garbage man, they're not gonna pretty much be on.
I disagree with that vehemently.
Wait, and let's bring this back in because we're only talking about economics.
Yeah, that's
Thank you.
So when we come back, when we talk about
a higher state of mind.
When you're talking about the same plane and same mentality and all of that, that supersedes and transcends where you work
until the argument starts.
Right.
And her degree comes in.
But wait. That's all social, economic.
I wasn't necessarily talking about the job thing. No, I was talking about the mentality.
But see, this is the other part that a lot of people are missing out on in this fucking discussion. There's some spiritual lessons that happen by default in relationship. People forget. Relationship by nature is spiritual. So there's lessons being transferred back and forth.
At school, yes.
And so it ain't gonna ever be easy, whether he on your level
or
financially or educationally or not. It ain't gonna ever be easy because there's always that tension of, why are you in my life? What purpose? What are you giving to me spiritually, mentally, emotionally? Not just financially.
That's an absolute, and you know there are no absolutes. So there are some relationships that do move that easily, and I know some people who that do move.
But
that
that's
way.
not the point I'm trying to make.
And what about triangulation, though?
Triangulation. Well, we triangulate all day in America. There's different levels of triangulation. I mean, we could triangulate with a baby. We don't have to triangulate with another person. Right? We can make a baby and there's triangulation. When there's a relationship between point A and point B, there's always going to be tension, and to triangulate is to add point C. Now, point C could be, a threesome, or it could be I'm pregnant. Either way, you can triangulate your relationship, but there will be difficulty. Don't tell me adding a baby ain't going to bring difficulty. And don't tell me adding another persona, a personality, a being, an energy to the relationship ain't gonna bring stress. Because somebody going to be like, why you give her one more pat of butter than me?
Yeah. I counted that bitch's peas. She got 608 peas on her plate. What the fuck is this?
Right. And Kev, to answer your absolutist point, intelligent conversation, we assume that these are all generalities. We don't have to preface every statement that it isn't an absolute. Intelligent conversation, especially with intelligent people, we don't say every time, well, this is not absolute. We don't do that every time. That's a generality. That's assumed. That's Dr. G.
Here's an elephant in the room of relationships and radio shows. You can't solve a transformational problem with transactional solutions. And what it is we're really transactional here, and really, what you need not in just in relationships, but in society, you need to agree upon what would a vision of success for the relationship look like 3 years from now, and then what is the conduct that we agree upon, that we both agree upon to make that thing a reality. I wrote a blog about Muhammad Ali, and his greatest lesson to us was that he had a vision of a world that was different than the world he was in, and he agreed to a certain code of conduct to live by to get there. And so I think if you can have that in relationships, it'll work out better. The problem is we're the tail dragging the dog here. We just live by our feelings, and feelings only live in the moment.
And Muhammad Ali had a whole bunch of wives.
Yeah, we're going to break. We'll be back at 2.2. This show is crazy. You can't have it all, girl.
I think that's your point, though, on that.
All
right, so there's a desperation that is apparent when it comes to the black family, wanting to restore the black community and sort of restore the black family. So I see a lot of people are talking about, I feel like a lot of the media plays on the desperation of single black women. A lot of the marketing that we see play on the desperation of single black women. How do we counteract that? And how do we remove that desperation sort of out of our community and sort of restore more traditional principles?
Well, number one, as far as the media goes, we're not required to partake in it. So a lot of that stuff simply needs to be disqualified from the social menu for most black people's lives. We're not required to watch the different shows that promote, the thirsty black female syndrome, and we need to divorce ourselves from that. So as far as the media, we just need to exercise more restraint. As far as how do you eliminate that, I mean, the truth of the matter is black men are rare. They are scarce because of the war against black men. So the black woman's concern that she might not find a mate, it is a very legitimate concern that can't be ignored. But I think that we could help control that concern to some extent if we were to organize marriage and if we were to organize dating in the community. That doesn't mean get involved in everybody's business, but we do need some structure that will allow women an opportunity to date without being taken advantage of, and will allow men an opportunity to date without having their characters assassinated if they don't decide to stay with that woman. Begins with the elders. I think that all brothers and sisters should go through a mandatory training program, socialization system that prepares them for marriage. You just don't wake up and say, I want to get married, even though marriage is natural. Just like you don't just wake up and say, I want to have a baby. You need to learn how to take care of a child. So I think we need systems in place that are not there. But we suffer from radical individualism. We do not see ourselves as part of a community or a culture. We see ourselves as a plethora of individual nations. Every black person is their own sovereign nation. They're not interested in linking up with another black person. We believe in this concept of privacy that I think is debilitating the black community, because we don't discuss the issues that need to be discussed because everyone wants to stay so private, even though everyone's dealing with the same types of situations. I think that a lot of this can be alleviated. I think that black men have to be held more accountable for their dating behavior with black women, but I think black women have to be held accountable as well. I think that it's not fair for the black men to often be put as the butt or the sole person or population responsible for the failure of relationships. Being a therapist, speaking as a therapist, women do a lot of wrong things to men too, but they never get highlighted the way that they do when men do wrong things to women. So we got to.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Hi kids, Billy and Francesca here for my brand new show at T Radio V, Advice from an Idiot, every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. So please call in and get some advice from someone who knows absolutely nothing about everything.
Hi, I'm Plastic Martyr, and I've got a new show called Just Like You on T Radio V. It's an inside look into my Hollywood life, where I give you a sneak peek into a world of beauty, fashion, and fame. Illusions will be shattered. And of course, there's a little sex, hugs, and rock and roll. Be sure to check it out Wednesdays at 11, only on T Radio V.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Then the day your eyes open wide.
To G, to Dr. G, final thoughts.
Oh, no, I already gave you my final vote.
Oh, did you? You just had your hands on top of your head? That's cool.
You know, so, it bears a quick discussion. We was talking on the break about, the Cleopatra phenomenon, Cleopatra, and how there's always been throughout the history of time periods where women, without a formal protocol, had their way in terms of who slept with who and who was with who on an official or unofficial level. And now we're labeling all of this stuff when we're really just going back through the cycles, man.
Women control it all.
Thank you. And the ones who don't have control of themselves.
Right. They haven't learned the power of their vagina.
No.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to touch back on what we were talking about earlier about the tension in the relationships. Now, I studied something called ohmology, which is OHMOLOGY.
Oh,
and
wow.
Ohm
Resistance?
An ohm in physics. Well, it's an ohm from physics. An ohm in physics means resistance. So, and when you send energy through a medium, if there's a loss of energy, that's called a semiconductor before it reaches the other end. Now, superconductors, when you have 2 points that resonate on the exact same vibration where there's no loss of energy between the two. These are different forms of energy or flows of energy in the universe. You can have both. You can have a person that you get with that you really vibe with, but then there's a little tension, so then you can have that. But then there can be someone that you truly vibe with all the way, where there's no loss of energy between the two. That's what I meant by no absolutes. Mm-hmm. That's all I meant.
Got it. Let's do this. I have a video I want to be shown. Ayana, are you in a position to see this video?
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm on the bus headed to D.C. for a rally.
Damn!
Wow.
This video is about
I'm
to be
so
crazy.
sorry.
What kind of rally?
Yeah, what rally?
We're rallying against the Mississippi state flag. The Confederate flag is still on state flag. So we're just,
Mississippi?
going
From Mississippi?
That's a whole nother subject.
That's a whole nother get down. All
A
right.
whole nother other, yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, just be patient with us. We're gonna play a quick video and then I'm gonna come back to you, okay?
Okay.
All right, please play this video because I think it's important. When we talk about knowledge of self, and black people, we just don't have it. We just don't have it. Dr. G was talking about creating some standards of success, and it's like anything that is considered successful, white people wrote it. So we have to figure out, like, wait a minute, where are our narratives of success? Where are our narratives of relationship?
Wow.
And if we don't have that and we have a default white supremacy narrative, we have to be like, well, shit. You understand?
Wow.
Watch this video and you'll see what I'm talking about as it relates to polygamy. That's not the video. I had to stop it because it's very important that I play the right video.
Okay.
Now, do you guys have the right video now?
Mountain. He carved a resting place. It was from the crest that Mogai showed Gikuyu the full majesty of the land he had bestowed upon him. He then commanded him to descend and make his home at the center of a cluster of fig trees, Mikoyo. Mogai told him that if he ever was in need of anything, he should make a sacrifice and raise his hands towards Kerenyaga, and his request would be granted by the Lord of Nature. When Gikuyu reached the appointed place amid the fig trees, he found a wife, Numbi, waiting for him. How delighted Gikuyu was to find yet another beautiful gift from Mogai. From their union came several daughters. After the 9th girl, Gikuyu wondered if he would ever have a son. So once more he called upon Mogai. Gikuyu was told to be patient. He was instructed to go and kill one lamb and kid, and place them under a fig tree near his homestead. Pour the blood of the fat and the 2 animals on the trunk of the tree. Then you and your family make a big fire under the tree and burn the meat as sacrifice to me. When Gikuyu and his family completed the ritual, they were told to go home and then return to the sacred tree. Let me bring this song back because I know you're enjoying it. There they found 9 young men who were willing to marry their daughters. Gikuyu told the young men he would give his consent only if they promised to live in his homestead under a matriarchal system. Unable to resist the loveliness of Gikuyu's daughters, the young men agreed to the terms and the weddings were soon held. It is from these marriages, my children, that the Gikuyu of Kenya formed the original 9 clans. Before I go on, let me play for you a tune on the mbira. The prongs symbolize the several clans of my village. Played in perfect harmony, the music exemplifies the goodwill and peace that prevails there during the harvest season. I should explain that the women of the Gikuyu were physically stronger and better fighters than the men. They also practiced polyandry, the custom of having more than one husband. Eventually, they were overthrown by men who took advantage of the leader's vulnerability while pregnant. Following this triumph, the men took over the leadership of the community and became heads of the family, thus replacing the matriarchal rule with patriarchy. They also established the rule of polygamy, having more than one wife. It is from such a myth that Lewis Henry Morgan, Karl Marx, Friedrich Engels, and other future thinkers will get their ideas about the nature of ancient societies and how women lost their mother right.
You know what he said?
Oh,
right quickly.
Dr. G.
Either way, polygamy, whether it was with women in the dominant position or men in the dominant position, it rose and fell. That's what I got out of that.
Yeah, I got to say something because you mentioned something the future possibility. You know, why is it that blacks can't come up with a future possibility? If they do, why does it come from white supremacy? I think it goes back to something that we've talked about before, that when you suffer from learned helplessness and learned powerlessness, you can't conceive of future possibilities. And so the key is, how do you overcome learned helplessness and learned powerlessness? This video we just saw, they didn't suffer from learned helplessness or learned powerlessness. They could conceive of a future to live into. So I think the challenge for the black community is, how do you replace learned helplessness and learned powerlessness with a real sense of possibility, and then how do you crystallize it and make it your possibility? Don't make it the white possibility, but that's a huge thing to overcome. I mean, wherever you're
ginormous.
Well,
Dr. G, I meant G, then
not it's not really that. It's just a conscious decision outside of what we are exposed to. What I mean by that is, some of us know people who we want to be like. They just not exposed as frequently as the people that we are inundated with every day. You know, if you have the option between being Muhammad Ali and Lil Wayne, who do you want to be?
Damn. Damn, Jeff.
Wow.
Didn't care.
Wow. I was going to speak on rest in peace to Brother Ali, but we didn't have enough time.
We got a little time. Go ahead.
I think that's why Muhammad Ali, why we older people take exception to Floyd Mayweather saying that he's the greatest, because nobody mentioned Ali's money yet. When Mayweather dies, all we're going to mention is his money.
And most of it'll be gone.
And most of
so well, let's not wish no hate on
it.
Ain't
wishing it.
No,
no, inevitable, man.
Not,
you keep spending money like that, man.
I'm not
talking about the brother's
did
money. Great investments according to his Instagram.
Okay,
his Instagram.
That's what
according
he says.
To his Instagram.
And when he makes his interviews, he said, "Man, I'm doing 7 figures a month."
He is.
Well, good for him. And I'm not. Well, no,
I'm proud of the brother.
I'm not unproud of the brother. I don't have a problem with him, other than this: when you say you're the greatest ever, now from the heavens, there's a voice that goes, bullshit. There's a yes, the greatest ever. The greatest ever.
I'm gonna say this. What Ali did outside of boxing made him the greatest ever. What
Yeah.
Floyd did
In
in
the ring.
boxing
Thank you.
made him the greatest.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, really?
No,
Oh,
yeah.
How is that
You
so?
can't marginalize
Sugar
that.
Ray
Yes, I
Robinson
can't
would have
come
whooped
on.
him.
You
Thank
crazy.
you.
Y'all crazy.
Thank you.
Y'all crazy.
Okay,
Okay, that's
absolutely
I
not.
hate that we off
All right,
topic.
that's another topic.
I
Yeah.
hate that we off topic.
Okay.
This is
To that.
rhetorical. In your mind, not today. Meet me next week with the answer to this. Please name the 3 boxers that Muhammad Ali dodged or did not fight because he was ahead in the later rounds. Not today. Just when you get a chance.
That's easy, but that's another topic. But that's easy.
Greatest of all time.
No,
Greatest of all
give me
time.
3.
He never dodged anybody.
No.
That's what makes it easy.
No, and he never ran in the late rounds when he had your eye hanging out. If you wanted some
Ran.
more.
Well,
His foot, dude. What you talking about?
Okay,
His
so
footwork
we're
is-
on another topic.
All right,
That's another topic.
Yeah, all
We'll
right.
do that show.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
need to do that
yeah.
show.
We'll do that show.
Yeah.
That's another
That's a
topic.
show right there. That's a show.
Listen, Doc said something that I think is amazing that needs to be dealt with. Response versus reaction. To me, to say, let's become polygamists so we can, have an economic base is a reaction. Because we can't hate each other as much as we do.
Yes.
And then become polygamous. It just
Doesn't it call for us to rise to love each other? Doesn't it cause us to be better people? Polygamy will call us to be better people in order to make polygamy sustainable.
I want
her
her to speak on that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Speak on that at length. You've got time. Go ahead.
Okay, because I think polygamy will have black men, okay, well, have a chance to get more than one wife. Okay, what do I got to do? I got to be financially sound. Okay, let me hustle. Let me get a business. Let me work a job until I can own my own business. And as for women, it calls for us to have skills. Okay, we got to learn skills so we can make this home sustainable, so that we can work with each other. It's going to teach us how to love each other again.
I'm back there. I hope you make it.
But I ain't going to help.
But I ain't going to help.
Jeff?
Here's my only problem with that, young sister, is this. The vagina bar is too low for what you just mentioned. I can get all of that, and I ain't got to do a goddamn thing but play PlayStation right now.
That's true.
Okay? We do, I quote him again, the late James Hanna, we do what you fuck us for. We do what you fuck us for. And right now, y'all are fucking us for little or nothing.
And then, Iyanna, I'm sure you'll agree with this. If your pussy ain't connected to your soul, we're not going to regard your pussy.
Come on, bruh.
So we're reconnecting.
But I'm just saying, do you?
Amen.
But I agree. But do you agree with there's a general disconnect with the sisters of today, the cooter, and the soul? Like she's not really connected to
I think that there's more
nothing.
of a confusion of what's going on versus a disconnect, because I think that black women we're always on some level in tune with things, and sort of we ignore it or we're confused by what we're feeling. and
Yes,
what's
ma'am.
going on.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
I can smoke a bag of that. Yep.
Well, which one is the greater phenomenon right now? This polygamy thing that you have experienced?
Polygamy is happening anyway.
Well, I'm talking about how she defined it.
Right.
On the low,
Okay. Low, or uptown, or downtown. I'm saying, is there more of that going on? Is this, new thing we're seeing with women going with each other, period? With the absence of men.
But we'll get into that. That's
Yeah,
later.
that's a whole nother
I mean,
subject.
that's a whole nother.
Which one is more
Okay.
prevalent is
That's
what
a
I'm
whole
saying.
nother
That's all I'm asking. Which one is more prevalent?
Lesbianism.
Listen,
But
we
that
got to
does
take
go-
a break. We got to take a break because
And
the
then
final thought is
I
coming.
think polygamy is going on
Okay,
way
I
more
got a
than
big
that,
question.
to be honest
But
with you, because
we're
there's
at
a lot
the
of
end.
brothers out here with multiple baby mamas, and that's a form of polygamy, whether we want to
at the end.
accept that or not.
That's cheating in the next room. That's
Can
not
I-
polygamy.
can I get-
We're at
can
the
I-
end.
I can't. Okay.
We're at the end. Goodness.
See, she's confusing polygamy with
Iyanla,
what we've been doing.
we got to take a quick break. We'll be back at 2.2.
Okay, here's the problem.
That ain't polygamy.
It sounds.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
T Radio V. What did you play opposite Andy, Eric? Do you remember?
Andy and I worked as two employees at a network.
Okay. Oh, you're
And
forgetting the other thing.
I played a news anchor, and he played a reporter.
Okay, but the other thing you did, the thing you did on the Andy Dick show, who did you play to Andy?
Oh, is that gonna play my sister?
You played his wife, Denise.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played his wife.
Yeah.
You
So
guys
what's wrong
have
with that, Eliza?
Nothing's wrong with it.
He's got a great range as an actor.
Yeah, it just was funny.
Encounters with Eric and Eliza Roberts, Wednesdays from 2 to 4 p.m. on T Radio V.
Hey, my fellow thoughters out there. I'm Charles Shaughnessy. Check out my new show, Here's a Thought, with Charles Shaughnessy, August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. Now, you know I have a lot to say, but I want to hear what you have to say. So tune in, grab your phones, call me, tweet me, email me in the studio, and let's get this conversation going. Here's a Thought, starting August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. That's radio in TV.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Well, here we are, final thoughts. Let's make it quick. Listen, did you guys see that report that came out that said most women are biologically lesbian? Or at the very least, bisexual. Yeah. It was on YouTube. Most women are not YouTube, excuse me. It was on Yahoo. That's what I'm trying to say. It was a Yahoo report that basically said most women are bisexual or lesbian, right? Genetically speaking. And the reason why I say, I feel like polygamy will work if the women are bisexual or lesbian. They gotta love each other too. And people are like, what kind of shit is that, Zoe? I'm saying, the way women are socialized in America, monogamy makes them insecure. It's the fantasy of Prince Charming. It's the fantasy of Mr. Right. It's the fantasy of the perfect relationship that makes them insecure. Do you know how crushed they be when they find out the dude they thought was Prince Charming cheated on them? Do you know how destroyed they are? It's not so much him, it's the belief they've invested in him that destroys them completely, right? How many dudes just sit around at the club waiting for the energetically damaged girl? He know, like, she been through some shit. I'm gon' fuck because she's still ruminating on him.
Rebound.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So I believe, and this is just my opinion, doesn't mean it's true or anything, I just believe in order for polygamy to work, because even if you go into the ancient African cultures, you'll see that there is a section of those women who have been socialized to be in those type of relationships that still get jealous, that are still envious. They don't like the hierarchy of wives, the hierarchy of sister wives. They don't like it. They have to fight to kind of reconcile. Okay, this is for Allah. This is for something. I'm doing this for something bigger. This is for the community. They still got to fight with that. Now, that's not to say that there aren't some very, very successful polygamous marriages. That's not to say that. What I'm saying is human nature is about me and mine. And it's very difficult to get people to fucking come under one banner, especially involving something as intimate as intimate relationships. It's very difficult to get people to sign on with that. But I will say this. Doc said something about reaction and response. If polygamy is going to be a response to our current situation, we're going to have to double load up on all of the relationship tools that one is lacking in a one-on-one relationship. We got to have 4 toolboxes if we're going to have 2 wives. We got to have 4 relationship toolboxes, and we got to work overtime.
A spare one.
Right. I always say relationship is, when you're in a relationship, you are by default a relationship mechanic. And the relationship is a vehicle, and your ass has always got to be working on maintaining that vehicle. You got to be ratcheting and wrenching shit all the time if you want it to work. Now, if you bring other people in, you got to be a psychologist, you got to be a therapist, you got to be a masseuse, you got to be a banker, you got to be a daddy, you got to be a bunch of shit now. You got to be a Swiss Army knife if you're going to be in that kind of relationship. Or it's going to be a problem. Now, because, listen, you got to be that anyway. That's right. In a one-on-one situation, right. You got to be that anyway. Yeah. So that means you got to double time it when you got extra women. Right? You got to double time it. Shit is crazy. That's my final thought on that. Listen, let's do this. Let's promote everybody's stuff. Bobby, where do they find you?
Well, they'll find me putting you back in the Real Men's Club after your suspension, following that beat down by Corey Holcomb.
Bobby.
And,
damn.
Watch this. Bobby, I ain't going to never play and beat you again.
You're right about the beating me part. But
I'm tired of beating you, Bobby.
No, it's got to happen, and it's going to happen. But change your water, change your life. Get a copy of Real Men Don't Play and holler at me.
There it is.
Yeah, you guys can go to the Real Nagas website, ReelNagas. Also, go ahead and grab those shirts, Phoenix Moore, Dragon Moors. Also, the people who bought shirts, thank you. And if you take pictures in the shirts and send them to me, I'll put you on the website.
And Iyanna.
All right, you can catch me at Goddess Ayana on YouTube. You can catch me on Instagram, Divine Stargate. Check out my online Copper Crystal store, and that's GodPiece, GodPiece.com. You can catch me in the community at the Capitol. I'm there all the time at the coalition meetings every Monday at 6:30 at the Lumumba Center in Jackson, Mississippi.
Excellent, excellent. Listen, I'm going for 50 copies today. I have 50 copies. Please, please, please. Order your copy today. I will mail it out today. We need to keep the funds coming in on this whole situation if we want to get the holographic relationship book done in a timely manner. Please continue to support the relationship dismount, how to stick the landing when exiting a toxic relationship. Go to my website, IamZoeWilliams.com, and support that movement. Listen, today's topic was crazy, but I'm going to say it again. Our society, our culture is in such a bad way that if we don't find love, if we don't find forgiveness, if we don't find honor, integrity, and respect, no relationship model we try to use will work. We got a spiritual cleansing and healing that needs to take place, and it ain't going to happen. And I'm going to tell you, the way the world is going right now, with all the false flags, Orlando, 50 people get killed, but it's all tied to gun violence and ISIS. And listen, now they tying the Black Thug into it too. Listen, if you don't have a community to run to, you're going to get swept up in the deluge of bullshit that's on the way. They cooking it up now. I'm just saying, man, if we don't get it together some way, somehow, you're going to see what it feels like to be without a community. Right now, like Umar said, everybody's individual.
Right.
You're going to see what an individual feel like shortly. That's my word. I'm going to holler at y'all next week.
Peace.
You are watching T Radio V, Radio NTV.